A veteran, advocate, activist, and founder of Civilianaires, whose passion is trauma-informed care for juveniles and her peers with justice involvement. Civil is working on a trauma-informed, evidence-based modality for the criminal justice system and reentry strategies that have more positive outcomes, and as well as reducing recidivism for successful, sustainable overall wellness. We have Civil.
I'm so glad everyone came out. There's a reason for us to be out here. It's called liberty for all, justice for all. Not just one, but for all humankind. All of us. I made a mistake. I just happened to get caught. But how many of you made mistakes and did not get caught? So I am here to tell you my story. My name is Sybil Sabil. I am a native Houstonian. I'm a proud veteran, mother, advocate, activist, a mentor, a peer support specialist. I am what freedom looks like. I am who represents the community. But I cannot represent this community alone. It is our collaborative voice that changes things. I am standing before you today. I am a survivor of 7 drug overdoses. I am a survivor of incest from my paternal father from the age of 9. I am a survivor of military sexual trauma. And yet, I stand before you today, knowing what my name is. I am truly free. Because why? I can address my truth. I do not choose to hide it. I choose to let everyone know that secrets destroy lives. Share your story. Give someone hope. Encourage somebody today. Become trauma informed. You never know what someone has been through. Speak to the homeless man. Speak to the one talking to themselves. Speak to the one who's laying on the concrete, blending in, because they too have been around the world and back. But you would not know that. You never know when you have an opportunity to change the outcome of someone's life just by treating them with dignity, mutuality, and respect. We are one kind, and that is humankind. It does not matter the color of your skin. I did not ask to be born in the skin I'm in, but I'm going to wear that skin until I can't wear it no more. And I need each and every one of you to wear your skin, to own your skin. Be that skin that you're in.
Can I wear Adidas?
Yeah, you can wear Adidas while you wearing that skin. Today, I am formally incarcerated, and I choose to stand here before you and impact change. I choose to be part of something great. Texas Advocates for Justice, grassroots leadership, Tifa, top. You see, all those voices that are shouting, woo! I tell you what, you better change something. Don't talk about it, be about it. I challenge you today to dare to raise a voice. I challenge you today to be the rebel. I challenge you today to be the one who says, I don't agree with that, and this is why.
Well, I don't agree with it, Silver.
Let me say this. There's still a box on applications. Okay? They ask you, have you been justice involved? I'm going to say it nice. But have you ever been convicted of a crime? Now, they say that they don't ask that question too much when it comes to employment. It's not until later on in the hiring process. The thing about that is, what about when I get to that later on in the hiring process? What happens then? Because, see, people like me, we know what we're doing. And we know that we have everything to lose. So there is no room for error. We will be the best because we've had the worst of times. We know what that is. There's a box on the application for even housing. And let me tell you, you can't get a house. You can't get an apartment. I faced that just a few months ago because I have a felony conviction. It doesn't matter whether or not I have good criminal history. That's not the point. It doesn't matter that the FHA has to house us. We have to have a place to live. It's the insurance companies that do not want to insure and be held liable for people like us. So I challenge you today to stand up. I challenge you today to be your best self. I challenge you today to make some noise because even a person like me and even a person like you deserve to live where you want to live. Remove the box. Say no to it. Raise your voice. Everybody go to your district, make noise, Facebook it, tweet it, Instagram it, Google it. I don't care what you do, but do something. Beat the pavement. Put your feet to the pedal. Push. Do something. Because while you sitting there talking about it, boy, I tell you, actions speak louder than words. And I'm here saying that this is a billionaire, and I'm here to impact change by implementing a trauma-informed, evidence-based modality throughout the criminal justice system. If you are working in the criminal justice system and you are not trauma-informed, you can't help us. You can't. So get trauma-informed. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sybil. And we're going to do a quick music break and then finish up with the rest of our speakers.
I am fired up after that. My goodness. Do something, y'all. Thanks for being here. We are proud to be here. We are Wild Rabbit Salad from Houston. I always love coming to Austin. We're going to do a little cover song. Just because we want to. It's a good one.
Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. I would dial the numbers just to listen to your breath. And I would stand inside my hell and hold the hand of death. You don't know how far I'd go just to ease this precious ache. You don't know how much I'd give, how much I could take just to reach you, just to reach you, oh, to reach you. Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light I cannot afford to sleep, giving away promises I know that I can't keep. Nothing kills the blackness that has seeped into my chest. I need you in my blood, and I'm forsaking all the rest, just to reach you, just to reach you, oh, to reach you. Come to my window, crawl inside, wait for the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. I don't care what they say, I don't care what they do. What do they know about this love anyway? Come to my window, I'll be home, I'll be home. Baby, I'm coming home. Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon. Baby, I'm coming home. Lord, I'm coming home to you.
Thank you.
All right, so I did want to announce that we do have an art exhibit that Taj and Grassroots has put together about prison, incarceration, people's stories. It's wonderful. It's down on Extension 2, E2, and you just keep walking through the rotunda and around the little circular part after that. So please go visit that after the rally. But up next we have another speaker. We have Kirsten Ricketts, who is the founder and director of Restore Up City Streets, providing prison ministry and reentry services. And she was part of the Anthony Graves Smart Justice Speakers Bureau for justice-involved leaders in Texas. So welcome, Kirsten.
Hi there. I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of this awesome work that everybody is coming together on. Not only was I justice involved myself, but I have a husband who has been incarcerated for the last 20 years on a 50-year sentence. And even though family members may have forgotten, the state of Texas may have forgotten, I want you to know that our God has not forgotten. And I wrote a poem for those who are currently incarcerated. It's called Behind the Razor's Wire, and I want to share that poem with you today. I walked to my mailbox on a bright sunny day, not thinking of freedom or even noticing the trees. I opened the mailbox to find a letter inside that was sent by a convict who'd been sentenced to life. Upon his words, my perspective was changed, so I thought I'd share my description of what the letter contained. He spoke of redemption, the Spirit of God, and a recurring dream and what he saw. As I read what he wrote, these words came to me as I had a vision of another man's dream. Through his eyes, I began to see millions of prisoners on their knees in this nation and beyond, crying out to God in song. They were criminals and castaways that had been locked away from the light of day, beyond the state and county jails, where there's no parole and there's no bail. The cells were filled with derelicts, which in society had deemed unfit, the dark and shady characters of doom locked inside of concrete rooms. In this pool of wayward souls are pent-up treasures of silver and gold, the special forces of God's elite locked behind the walls of apparent defeat. I saw God's grace fall upon these men, and from their knees they were lifted again, a people raised out of corruption and lives restored from complete destruction. Jesus came and turned the key that set the souls of the prisoners free. It's the broken earthen vessels, the disjointed jars of clay, that God reshapes in order for his glory to be displayed. Newfound hope and long-lost dreams have kindled a new fire, burning within the cold, hardened hearts behind the razor's wire. This convict's words set my mind to ponder as I focused my thoughts upon the road up yonder. Perhaps it was I that had been deceived on the definition of what freedom means. I had been locked inside the darkness of the prison of my mind until I began to analyze my circumstance, upon which I did find that freedom does not come from sunshine nor the trees. The ability to move about is not what freedom means. Liberty, as I now see, is the ability to be free, but a freedom unbeknownst by most, accessed only through the Holy Ghost. For you see your calling, brethren, that not many wise according to the flesh, not many mighty, not many noble are called, but God has chosen the weak things of the world to put to shame the things which are mighty. The base things of the world and the things which are despised God has chosen, and the things which are not, to bring to nothing the things that are, that no flesh should glory in his presence. 1 Corinthians 1, 26 through 29. I want to thank y'all again for allowing me to be a part of what God is going to do in this legislation. Because I believe from the bottom of my heart that change is going to come. And it's our voices, our prayers, our diligence to continue to pursue justice for the state of Texas when it comes to TDCJ and our loved ones. Bless you all and thank you.
Okay, just a couple more. Thanks so much for everybody sticking around. We do have Roderick McNeely next. He is a criminal justice advocate, member of the ACLU Advisory Board, and he also manages and mentors men coming out of prison. So let's welcome Roderick.
Good afternoon. You may have noticed that she did not say that I was a member of the Texas Advocates for Justice. She did not say that I was a member of TIFA. She did not say I was a member of grassroots leadership. But we all stand for the same cause, justice for all. Who I am is Roderick McNeely. What I am is I am a voice of the lived experience. I am a graduate of the Anthony Graves Smart Justice Speakers Bureau, one of the first programs in the state of Texas that advocate for men and women that have been touched by the criminal justice system. I am a member of the ACLU of Dallas and Texas Advisory Board, people who have the lived experience. My experience, in 2002, I was convicted of 2 aggravated assaults with a deadly weapon and aggravated robbery of a deadly weapon. I was sentenced to 10 years for each of those crimes. Now, hear the thoughts in your mind. Man, those are some serious crimes. And I stood before the parole officer at the time I was getting ready to be considered for parole, and she said the same thing. And I said, if you only knew the story. What the story is, I was strongly addicted to crack cocaine. And I was in a Target store trying to steal 2 VCRs. The way that I got the aggravated robbery case was the security guard was a senior citizen. The way that I got the 2 aggravated assaults with the deadly weapon it was two guys trying to make a citizen's arrest. I never tried to touch or harm anyone. And the way that I got the deadly weapon is they saw a box cutter in my back pocket. I spent 8 years in prison for stealing 2 VCRs. Every day of those 8 years was the worst days of my life, because not only did I leave a son behind at the age of 2, but I left a wife strung out on crack cocaine at home to see about it. I came home finally in 2010, and my son was still confused, and my wife still on drugs. I made myself a promise that I would not allow my son to become another statistic. A statistic that somebody sitting behind a desk, I don't know if it was in this building here, but somebody came up with that said 60% of children who have parents incarcerated stands a large chance of going to prison because of their background. I stood up to make that statement a lie. I made sure that my son would not follow into my footsteps because I taught him from my mistakes. I never lied to him, not once. He needed to know. So many families today, family members suffer from miseducation. We're afraid to have these important conversations with our loved ones to tell them about some of the things that we've been through because we don't want them to look at us a certain way. They need to know. The word says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. They need to know. Today, I can say my son will never be a statistic because he serves his country in the U.S. Navy. The barriers that I faced when I came home from prison were real. I couldn't get an apartment because of my drug history. I couldn't work because I had found out while I was in prison that I had prostate cancer and then bone cancer, which I still deal with today. And so today, I draw my Social Security disability. I did work while I was on drugs. And I worked part-time just to make ends meet. The secret that I found out was that if I saved my money and managed it properly, and if I got good credit scores, that I could actually buy a house. And so I didn't desire to live in an apartment anymore. I'm a homeowner now. While in prison in 2005, I put a business plan together to start a nonprofit ministry. The day that I walked out of prison, I started that ministry, but it started on the inside, working on the prayer team in the chapel, helping to encourage men that they can live a life pleasing to the Lord on the inside of prisons, that they didn't have to be afraid of the gang violence and the extortion that was going on. Me and some more Christian brothers, we banded together to stand up for what was right. When I got out, I was on parole, and I started my nonprofit organization, thanks to 3 gentlemen that I met on the inside. And what I do today is I provide housing, I provide life skills for men, I help them to get back on their feet with jobs, and I have a big clothing closet. I just received a donation from Waxahachie Autoplex that will enable me to purchase about 20 pairs of brand new shoes. So when these guys go on their job interview, they can put on a pair of new shoes with these suits that they're wearing. The reason why I'm standing right here today is because we need to create a re-entry program inside our prison systems and in our county jails. This program will allow the TDCJ and the industries that are already inside the system to partner together and outside employers to train men and women and pay them a private sector wage with the guarantee of a job once they're released.
That's what I'm talking about.
And when I take this to the representatives in this building behind me, I know they're going to want to know what's in it for them. This is what's in it for them. Accounts will be set up for each man and each woman that participate in this program. 50% of the earnings will go into a private account for them. 25% will be set up so that the cities, the counties, and the states can collect any fines, any fees, or any debts that these participants owe. So they don't have to worry about getting out and what child support is going to do. They're going to start paying for it while they're in prison. And the last thing, the last 25% will go back into the program itself to continue the program so that more men and women will have this program set up. Our system has been set up to take programs out. They changed the name from Texas Department of Corrections to Texas Department of Criminal Justice. There's no correction, it's just housing now.
That's right.
And if you look at the laws that they have set up now, they're charging people even for medical. And so how are we going to help people to get on their feet if we don't start trying to build programs that are going to help them? So I'm pleading with you today, when you talk to your representatives, tell them about this program. Tell them about Senate Bill 120 that was established in Kentucky that provides this reentry center in its jails that allow men to get licenses, that train men in jobs, that set up the accounts where they can pay their debts and their fines and their fees and be guaranteed a job when they come out. Tell them about Senate Bill 20 that does the exact thing for our juvenile, in our juvenile justice system. We can't forget about our kids. Tell them, plead with them. It's time for us to change. It's time to break down these barriers that have been set up by our community because people like me have made mistakes. I paid my debt to society. I should be able to live in any community that I can afford to live in that does not have a high crime rate.
Say it, brother.
They passed the second chance law, but that law would only allow people like me to live in public housing. The sounds that my son would have been hearing if I hadn't bought a house were sirens and gunshots every night. And that's not a sound that kids should go to sleep by. We need to change. We need to break these barriers. Stand up with me and plead with our senators to make these laws happen. The last law that needs to be pushed and has been turned down more than once is the minimum wage law. They got a lobby on the books right now to raise minimum wage to $15 an hour. That would give the average person without an education a chance.
Amen.
It's time for us to break the barriers, and it's time for us to start encouraging mankind by our good works. Thank you.
I spent 16 years of my life in and out of the criminal justice system. I started going to prison when I was 13 years of age. I graduated in a juvenile institution with my GED. At 17 years of age, I acquired my first classes in Ventura School for Boys and Girls in Ventura, California, which took me on the road to a college education. Later on, I would be entered into the federal prison system, where I would then begin to continue my education, but then the Pell Grant was removed. Education has always been an outlet for me to find my identity in the society. Words are like colors to me, to paint the picture that I've seen of the world. So right now today, I'm going to give you a window into my soul, through my art, through my expression. And my prayer is that my words are not just flowery words or words that just make you feel good, but words that touch you in the deepest part of your existence. Because these words are not just my words, but they're the accumulated words of all those men and women that we leave behind that can't be here today to speak for themselves.
but we are guided by the love of our families and our fellow human beings. It's love that allows us to confront our despair about the criminal justice system and now accept the challenge of making changes in the criminal justice system. Are you with me?
Yeah!
We all know why we're here. We have a purpose. And here I want to talk to you about 5 core values that each of you have that define our promise and our success. Honesty, fire, hard work, confidence, and perseverance. Honesty. Honesty is what promotes openness and empowers us and enables us to develop consistency in how we present the facts, how we tell our stories. Honesty sharpens our perceptions and allows us to observe everything around us with a clarity. It allows us to tell our story to those who sit here in this building, to news reporters, to our neighbors that help us come together to make change. Fire. Fire is our enthusiasm. You've demonstrated that here today. It's unbridled passion and excitement for living our life on our terms. Fire is named as such because it lights the fire inside of us and it wills us to carry toward our goals and dreams no matter the obstacles. And we know how many obstacles are put in front of us. Willingness to work and work hard. And this is hard work, guys. It really is. And it's not just work, it's intelligent work. You have to start doing it and learn what it takes to get it done. And you're doing that today by walking these halls. You're learning how to get it done. It's picking our battles, whether it's in the legislature or in the prison system. It's moving forward with focus and desire to getting ahead, especially in this political world. It's confidence. Confidence gives us the strength to keep going no matter the obstacle. It psychs us up to get the job done, and sometimes we really need that. Confidence allows us to tell the story of who we truly are in the most authentic way possible. Be confident in everything you do, and you will never be denied. And last, perseverance. To persevere is important to everybody. Don't give up. Do not give in. There is always an answer to everything. Sometimes it's not what we like, but it's better than what we have. So keep moving forward. And now we need to dig really deep and use these core values to respond and rise up to this occasion. We need to tell our stories to everyone so everyone understands that the main driver of over-incarceration are the laws that allow or require longer prison terms for certain offenses and longer sentences that must be served behind those bars. We must make them listen. We need to work hard to remove the politics from the criminal justice system and for parole decisions. Because decisions need to be made based upon individual assessments and not by who's been voted into office. We need to pay attention to who is running for office, and we need to get out there and work for them. We need to persevere until legislators write laws that provide for accountability for prosecutors, judges, the prison system, and parole. That's one of the reasons we're here today, is for independent oversight of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Today I cannot feel the confidence that our unity in this mission will bring about the long-needed change to a broken justice system. I have never felt this confidence that I felt today in this session. This is 8 years I've been doing this. And we're going to do it this year. We're going to bring about the changes that will bring our family members home and release them from all the burdensome laws and reporting requirements. Any system that allows people to turn a blind eye to this hopelessness and despair, to abuse and suffering in the system, is not a justice system. It's an injustice system. Today, together, we are here to bring attention to these issues. You are such an important part of this movement. As hard as it may seem, as long as it takes, we cannot lose hope. We will not give up. Because there are many people who are counting on us. Those who can't speak up, who don't have a voice, who don't have the ability to be here. We will be that voice. We will be heard. We will persevere. Rise up and persevere. Thank you. Independent oversight. And earn time credit for all. Thank you so much for coming. And there are just a few announcements. If y'all haven't been inside,
the name of the piece is called Secure Reflection. Handcuffed mind view, chest heaving, restricted breathing, consumed with fear of an uncertain, unknown end. Where do I begin to explain the lockup, the torture that did not start with us with getting caught, but unaddressed childhood trauma? Mr. Authority will not want to hear nor dare have the capacity to ask why or what happened. Interrogation, subjugation, punishment is the answer to the offense. Unequivocal. Unequivocal. Unequivocal economic, racial, and social disparity lead to the criminalization of poverty, blinded by society's imposed system of hierarchy, and who deserves an opportunity to higher education, to equal employment and equal housing, and the freedoms of an individual to be different and express themselves in truth is a harsh reality. The door shut, reverberating, excruciating, loud, the sound of shutting in a room apart from all but the voices in my head. My thoughts were of intimidation. I was supposed to feel. I did feel. How did I get here? Me, world great. Me and my melanin pigmented skin, who was taught better, knew better, and still. Arisen situations I'm not equipped to cope with or adequately handle. Maturity forced from exposure to perverse acts and abuse. What would be my defense? I had no money. How would I get a proper representation and due process? How would I get out with no money? No knowledge of the criminal justice system and the fear that strangled me. How would I get out? Who would take the risk of helping me when the relationships were torn, when the trust was gone, when I hurt everyone I loved, cared about, and left behind? Who would care for my children? What would they feel? I didn't even know. Did they even know me? Did I know them? In a continuous chaotic life of instability, self-medication, and drama, I was alone. Alone with pain, guilt, shame, that shoulda, woulda, coulda, done something different, been something different. Now, locked up to face the cruel realities of failures, mistakes, and imposed maturity, I wasn't allowed to be a kid.